Good afternoon, guys. It is May 31st, 2022. On this video, I want to clarify a few things. Now, there's been a lot, and believe me, I knew this was coming. You're not going to make everybody happy. It's just how it is. And I don't care if you're unhappy with me or not. Here's something I want to clarify. I make these videos to give people the best information to my knowledge and experience. And I try to help people move in the right direction. And I'm not telling people what they can and cannot do. I have never done that. I'm not trying to say you have to do this, you have to do that. You know? I have no say in that. And I have no business having a say in that. But one thing that you need to realize is I come from a background of being passionate about long-term reliability in appliances and vacuum cleaners. Long-term with anything. And I look at everything that is involved with making things last as long as they can. And some people have been getting all bent out of shape with me saying I don't like shark. Well, I can tell you one thing. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I like the setup and the idea of shark, but I do not like the setup of the filters and the canister and the fact that you can't even get into the brush roller, and not to mention that they don't supply parts quite as easily as a lot of other manufacturers. Now, I never said that you can't buy a shark. If you're just gonna come on here and comment and say, well, you just don't understand, you just blah 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 blah. I never said you couldn't buy a shark. What I am saying is, I look at long term because I don't look at things through the lens of, well, it's working now, so that's all that matters. I look at it through the lens of, how can I make this last? Do I have support? Do I have parts available? And there's a lot of people that just want to argue with me and say, well, brush rolls just don't wear out. If you use a machine long enough, they will. It will happen. I see it all the time. It may take, 10, 15, 20 years, but eventually they all wear out. It's no different than tires on a car. Because the tires are always making contact and rolling across the road, and they wear down. Think about your shoes. They're always making contact with the ground, and they wear down. Brush bristles are the exact same way. They're always making contact, and they just shorten and shorten and shorten. It may take a long time, but eventually it's going to happen. And I look at the long-term longevity and reliability of a machine. And some of you people have said, well, you know, you're just kind of like against, you know, people making their decisions. I'm not against people deciding on what they want. It's their business. It's none of my business. What I am doing with these videos is I am trying to help people understand what is available and what I see as far as support. Because honestly, you know, some people are like, well, you gotta understand that not everybody has the money for a Kirby. Okay, I absolutely understand that to every extent. I never once said that if you don't buy a Kirby or something high-end, then there's something wrong with you. I never once said that. What I am saying is, if you are financially in the means to get something a little bit higher quality, whether it's a Kirby or something else, it doesn't have to be a Kirby. It really does not. Then it's probably a better use of your money long term. It's probably going to save you a lot of money in the long run because it is built stronger. They are built on a commercial platform. They are built to last a longer time. They have parts available. They're easier to service. And they just make more sense long term. You know, I really don't understand why people don't get that concept. You know, now again, I understand that there are people who absolutely financially cannot afford a higher end machine, and I completely understand that. I am totally open to budget machines. I am totally open to Walmart machines. I am totally open to machines like that. But I am going to share what I see and some of my opinions because honestly, there's a difference between certain machines. These cheaper machines, some of them are decent, and some of them are just pieces of crap. I mean, some of them are just absolute pieces of crap. You know, if you go out and you buy, say, you know, the cheapest of the cheap bagless Dirt Devils or Bissels or something like that, the plastics on those are so thin and so crappy that they do not hold up over time. And not to mention that it's just flat out designed to be disposable. You know, vacuum cleaners should not just be outright disposable on any level. Now, if you only have $40 for a vacuum and you need something then that is better than nothing. But if you can find a used vacuum cleaner that's in a little bit better condition, that's in good condition, that's quite a bit better quality for that same price, that's what I would do. So, I'm not in any way, shape, or form condemning anyone for what they like or don't like or what they choose to do or not do. I am just very clearly trying to think this through, and basically what it boils down to is just basic common sense. You know, would you buy a car knowing that you can't get parts for that car, you can't get tires for that car, or anything, and if something happens, you're just stuck and you're gonna have to get another car? Most people would say no. That doesn't make any sense. It's the same thing with appliances. It's the exact same thing. It's no different. You know, and I just look long term into this stuff because and it's mostly been a lot of younger people my age who've been kind of just arguing with me and coming at me about that. And let me tell you something. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but those of us who are younger, I don't think you really understand just how long things used to last and just how well things were made back in the day. And you can argue, like, well, we're just in the 21st century. There's no excuse for crappy quality and longevity. There's just no excuse for it. There needs to be decent reliability and longevity. At the very least, a good 10 years out of a machine. Now, if a design works, if a design is reliable, if it actually has support and you can repair it, then I have absolutely no problem with it. But what I have a problem with is when they make things too complicated, when they make things too cheap to where they break easy, or if they just flat out make it way more expensive than it's actually worth to fix things. I have a major problem with that. And this is truly what I believe in. And if you have a problem with that, then you can just leave, because I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I'm not here to tell you certain things because you want to hear it. It's just not. Now, I'm not saying that I know everything. Nobody knows it all. And I've heard some of you say in the comments, well, I know more than you. Seriously? I mean, Now, I'm not talking about older people. I'm talking about people that are younger than me, or, about the same age as me, and you might have a lot of knowledge, but don't be a know-it-all. I don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. And if you are that prideful and that arrogant to where you think that you know everything, then you're just wrong. I mean, that's just the way it is. Now, could I be wrong on some things that I see? Absolutely. But there are certain things that I just see long term being a problem. I do not believe in buying an appliance only to know that I'm probably going to throw it away in 3 to 5 years. It doesn't make any sense to me. It is so wasteful. Not only wasteful in material, but wasteful in money. I want you to think about this. Things used to be designed to be fixed. And things really shouldn't be that hard to repair. But the more complicated you make things, the harder it is to repair. And the less enjoyable it is to do so. And I just look at it through the lens of the average consumer. Because I don't just tell an average consumer, just go buy a Kirby and that's it. You don't need to look at anything else. I have never once said that to an average consumer. I do let them know that I truly believe in the machine and I truly believe in the product. But I have never once just gave them only that option. Not once. I do as much research as I can between a lot of other machines. I look at long-term reliability. And you want to know something? According to my research, the Kirby's have the highest rating in reliability and the longest lifespan. One of the longest lifespans, if not the longest lifespan in terms of vacuum cleaners on the market. Now, I'm not saying that everybody has to look for a machine that's going to last them as long as a Kirby. But I'm just saying look for something that has decent support over the years, because when you make an investment in a machine, you want to know that you have access to things for if and when they wear out or break. And some of these collectors/enthusiasts are saying, well, it's just not going to break, it's just not going to wear, it's never going to wear out. Honestly, you're kind of foolish if you're saying that. because an average consumer actually uses their vacuums. And in a lot of cases, they use them really, really hard. Really hard. And sometimes they use them multiple times a day. Yeah. And, it depends on your household. It depends on what you do. But trust me, I know a guy here on YouTube who actually does commercial cleaning for a living. And he vacuums a church every single week for a few hours at a time with a sanitary. Do you know how fast he wears through brush roll bristles? I've seen him wear through those within a month or two because he uses them so hard. Now, he's a fellow collector / enthusiast, and he takes really good care of his machines, but he actually uses them. So your argument of, well, they're just not going to wear out, that's just bullcrap. That's just absolute baloney. Because when a machine gets used, things wear out. Do you not think that belts wear out? And I've heard that comment many times too. I've heard the comment of like, well, if you're replacing belts in your vacuum cleaner, then you have a crappy vacuum cleaner. Well, I don't even know where that came from because that's far from true. You have to replace belts at the very least once a year. I do, at least. They don't last forever. Now, I understand that there's some with lifetime belts, but not everybody is going to get a machine with a lifetime belt. It's just not going to happen. Not everybody's going to do that. Not everybody can afford to do that. Not everybody wants to do that. So, and not to mention that it doesn't matter how careful you are with your machines. It doesn't matter what happens. Things can wear out. Cords can split at the flex point of where they're connected into the machine. Light bulbs can burn out. There's nothing you can do about that. Certain parts can not hold anymore. Handle releases can break. Cord hooks can break off. You can be as careful as you want to, but as stuff ages, it gets brittle and it breaks. I know firsthand because I have actually broken things on my own machines before. I had a hose split on another machine that I had, and I had to replace that hose. It wasn't my fault. I wasn't rough with it. It just happened because that machine was 10 plus years old. So this idea that, oh, well, there's just never a need for parts is a bunch of hoo-ha, people. There's always going to be a need for parts on some level. And especially if you use your machines hard. Like, these people who do house cleaning and stuff, I've seen some people who do house cleaning for a living, they have a vacuum cleaner for 3 years, and the brush roll is already worn out because they use them so much. People put the miles on vacuum cleaners. They really do. You can take care of it to the tiniest detail, but the truth is, as they get used, parts wear out. They just wear out. You know, do you think that we keep the same pair of shoes for our whole lives? No, because they wear out. Do you think we keep the same tires on our cars for, 10, 15, 20 years? No, because they rot. They wear out. It's the same thing with these parts. Things wear out. It's just the bottom line. Certain parts wear out faster than others, but eventually things do break and things do wear out. So being able to repair those things and keep them running is very important, because it makes absolutely no sense to have a brush roll that you can't replace, and the brush roll is completely worn out, but there's a ton of life left in the machine, and you can't get the brush roll, so you have to replace the whole machine. That is a huge, huge waste. You cannot tell me that that is in any way efficient. Use your brains, people. Use the brain that God gave you. Seriously. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I'm just explaining this is the way I see it, and this is why I talk about these things in the way that I do. Because I care about the average consumer. I have average consumers who watch my videos. This isn't just vacuum collectors on here. I really do have just average consumers who aren't very interested in vacuums, but they do watch my videos to get some information on what they should do. I get comments from them all the time, and they appreciate it. So I'm not gonna just bend the knee to please collectors and enthusiasts, when I have average consumers watching, because I want them to be as informed as possible, and I do not want them to waste their money if at all possible. If we can avoid it, if I can save them money, if I can help them find a machine that will fit their needs and be supported for quite a few years afterwards. Because things will wear out. They just will. There's just no way around it. You can't escape that. It's just gonna happen. And it is way cheaper to repair a vacuum cleaner in quite a few cases than it is to replace them. Not always, but in quite a few cases it is. Because in a lot of cases the brush roll is a fraction of the cost of the machine when it was new. It's just common sense. It's part of making your money go further. It's part of getting the full life I believe in getting the full 10, 15, 20 years out of a good vacuum cleaner. At least 10 years. You know, with proper care and maintenance. And first of all, a decent machine that isn't just absolute crap. So anyway, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.